This is Naoki Yoshida.
This is Fern Hall.
And you are listening to Aetheryte Radio.
Aetheryte Radio.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the Aetheryte Radio podcast, episode 104 for our 8th year anniversary.
Woo woo!
Yeah,
we're old.
All right, like what you know, if you think of it, if you're 8 years old, what grade would you be going to? Is that like second grade? Are we at that level yet? I don't know. I'm only guessing. My daughter's 3, so I have no idea. All right. My name is Bryn. Joining me on the podcast today, we've got Michelle, we've got Charles, we've got Andrew, otherwise Fusion, Zenidra, and Aldano. Welcome to the podcast, everybody.
Whoa. I'm gonna start this off real quick. Brian, did you configure the Streamlabs stuff?
The Streamlabs stuff? Yes. And it's showing
that
up
is
at the
set
bottom.
Up, right?
Yeah, it should be at the very bottom.
Okay. I just wanted to double check and make sure that wasn't like default stuff.
So the reason why I'm hosting, we're all hosting here, but a little bit different of a format, trying to kind of break up this year. It's a whole new year. We're looking at over the year. We're going to talk about in the fourth segment upcoming changes to the podcast as well. But on today's show, we're talking about the 8th year anniversary, the news. The main topic is obviously what we've been doing and playing in the game so far. Upcoming podcasting changes and upcoming events. And then if you stick around after the show, we'll be doing a live Q&A with anybody in the Twitch chat who wants to join us. So
we disappeared
and we're back. That's weird.
So, it's because you clicked on a window.
I know, like I'm such a failure there. So all right, guys. So first topic, we're going to be breaking down the news. So we had patch 4.06 drop recently. This brought in PvP changes. This brought in some minor job adjustments. And obviously with that, we saw the news that we are now exceeding 10 million players. And I want to put a little pin on that note and kind of get y'all's thoughts on those numbers. Because, I mean, like even we've talked about it offline, but like 10 million, like that's not obviously active subscribers, and then doesn't matter. So what are you guys' thoughts on just that line item?
Well, I mean, that's one of those things where anytime they announce it, that number is always going to get bigger because it includes trials. And so it's just accounts. So
I myself
it's
have 14
always going to be going up.
Our UI just keeps randomly dropping and disappearing.
It does.
There we go. All right, let me just bring that back. Very strange. So hopefully that I'm not going to click on anything. Literally, I'm going to allow you guys to help me navigate the show off of nothing but memory. But sorry, you were saying about 10 million players. That was Michelle that was talking.
I don't know who was talking. Yeah.
I was just saying I have 14 by myself.
You have 14 players
14
by yourself?
characters.
Oh, 14 characters. What
I am 14 players.
I was like, man, that like remember like the stories about like I guess epic WoW players or Final Fantasy 11 players.
Oh
it's
man,
like, I'm maining the entire multi-box kind of setup.
It's impossible to do like 2 unless you had a third-party program, which people totally don't use, right?
Right,
not at all.
Absolutely not. They just have 5 computers in front of them. That's right. I've seen some crazy JP setups for 11 with PS2s.
Oh yeah.
I used to double box at 11 all the time.
Ridiculous.
That was easy.
Yeah. I mean, there's people, they'll have like 10 PS, or they'll have like, what was it, 8 or whatever a party was in 11. They'll have like an entire party that they'll just play, and they'll have all the TVs, all the controllers in front of them. And I'm just like, how? I tried to like 2-box once. I was terrible at it. I died. Like, I don't know how people even, I don't get it.
Oh man.
I double boxed the Alexander fight in Nuzzle Isle. Is it Nuzzle Isle?
Yeah.
You know, the whole area.
Yeah.
As a black mage and a white mage once. And nobody died and we won. I was so proud.
That's epic. That's awesome.
That was a hard fight.
Oh man. So anyway, like we're assuming that not everybody is multi-boxing with this 10 million number, but regardless, it means a lot, and I think it's important for the game. But even if it includes obviously free trial and things like that, I think that in and of itself just shows that this game is continuing to grow. I'm gonna see if I can't rearrange this outline because it just keeps getting blacked out here.
Do you keep clicking on it? Is that why
I'm literally not touching anything? And
I have no idea.
And it just continues just to randomly decide to drop out. So I was debating, because what it does is it keeps the 8 up. It keeps everything up except for like our pictures and the frame. And so I'm just like, and then I'm wondering if it's conflicting with the background. And thus I know what it is,
Brian. You didn't put the Twitter image in.
The Twitter image. Oh, because when it switches, right?
Correct.
Okay, so how do I fix that?
Oh wait, no, that is in there.
All right.
I have no idea.
Happy birthday, everybody.
I don't know why. I don't know why everything is disappearing. Because if something's going to disappear, it would either be the frames or it would be the camera. So it would be both.
But it's both the frames and the camera. But the 8 stays. The layout and everything else like that stays.
Right.
Should I maybe just turn off the image slideshow? Because it happens. Whoa.
Are the things in the image slideshow?
It's got to be the image slideshow. Hold up. Okay, we're getting to the bottom of this.
Like a couple of blank frames in there.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that would make sense. So it's the new gold. I think it's. Let me just do this. Let me just try that. And let me turn back on the image slideshow. Let's see if that worked. If I got the right one. I was like, it is almost perfectly happening. So I was like, yeah, something in the image slideshow is saying nope.
Problem solved.
All right. If it blanks itself out again, that means I did not pick the right image. But yep, I picked the wrong one. Okay, let's see here. Remove new gold 7. All right. Okay, that fixes that there. Let me hit add. And let me pick on this and that. And only just those two.
Podcasting.
Oh, I know. The Avengers in Twitch podcasting. Well, this is what makes live fun, right? Okay. Only the right two. So anyway, and we gotta. It's not some of our worst bugs.
Oh no!
In 8
No,
years.
it's not.
Trial.
Oh goodness!
Let's not bring up our greatest hits. Okay. So. All right, so we had the 10 million. We kind of beat that to death right there. Obviously, Season 5 of The Feast began with patch 4.06. With this, I am unbelievably pissed. And I'm going to rant about this in a little bit. I'm not going to rant during the news. So we're going to just tease that. We'll come back to it. All right, have you guys checked out the Lost Canals of Uzanar yet?
I have not.
Oh, you haven't? Did you do Aquapolis at all?
Yeah.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay. It's
They're great.
I love
My impression is it's just Aquapolis.
Yeah, it is, but it's still good. It's just, it's so much fun, and it just makes me wish. Elephants, water,
everywhere.
Like you're just kind of slipping and sliding around.
There's a water slide. Yeah. Every time you win the door game, you get to go on a water slide.
Wow, that's pretty good. That's awesome.
So we got the Lost Canals of Uzanar. It's like the level 70 Aquapolis. If you don't know what that is, you get a map. It's like one of the high-end maps, etc. And it gets a chance to spawn this content. I'd highly recommend that if you are level 70, you check it out. It should not be missed. It is some of the most fun and random bits of content that you can have. Get a group together, and you won't regret it. Trust me on that one. Job adjustment changes for PvE. So we saw various jobs get some boosts. I know, Fusion, you want to talk about the Dragoon boosts? Well, they keep boosting them.
Sorry, you have to.
When are they going to?
Yeah.
Here's the question: when are they going to stop boosting Dragoon?
Here's my question: is when are they going to actually make the changes that Dragoon needs instead of dicking around on all this other stupid stuff?
Yeah.
5.0, 6.0. I don't know.
So elusive jump had its timer cut in half, which is all right.
Yeah.
Like that's cool.
You can backflip off of stuff in PvP, by the way. So if you ever need to get down to the bottom, just elusive jump, do a back jump.
Yeah, I mean, it's an okay change, right?
Nice.
Like I wish they would have adjusted Spine Shatter Dive recast or something, something that actually impacts eyes.
That's damage.
What of the dragon duration got increased from 15 to 20, which again doesn't help the issue, right? Sonic Thrust lets you restore Blood of the Dragon now, which is really nice. That combo.
That's probably the best.
The thing with that, I don't know if a lot of people realize. Basically, before, if you want to take your Blood of the Dragon timer up, you either pop Blood of the Dragon if you're at a couple seconds, and it would go up to 15, or you would have to do another combo, which is 4 actions. That takes a while. It takes at least a good 10 seconds, and so people were losing Blood of the Dragon because of how long it takes to build that combo up. Now it's 2 actions, so you can if it's getting low, you can do that. Dragon Sight range increase it was doubled to 12 yalms, which is great. I think Dragon Sight still sucks, but that's a good change.
It is.
Lance Mastery increase, potency increased from 30 to 100, which all right, over it's one of those things that will add up a little bit, whatever. And then animation lock after executing Mirage Dive has been shortened because that messed up a lot of people's rotations because of the weaving and stuff. The problem is still the fact that you need 4 eyes, and that if Blood the Dragon wears off at any point, you're SOL. That's the core problem with Dragoon, and they keep trying to like band-aid it with other stuff, and it's not working. And I'll talk a little bit more about this once we get into.
I'm just going to make one note though, is that the salt that I guess I feel like with Dragoon, and I'm not a main Dragoon, but it's that like the question is just, and I'm sure anybody can weigh in on this. Why Dragoon when you can Samurai? Like, for the cost.
You're going to make Fusion really sad right now.
Yeah. I'm not trying to make him sad. I'm just legitimately asking a real question right now. And that I think underlines and scores Fusion's point, right? Because of the things they need to fix. Why should you have to deal with the issues that exist within one job when right now I would say Samurai is just so good.
Yeah, I'll touch on that a little bit once we talk about it in game stuff.
The only thing
coming later in the show.
Sorry, the only thing that I would take Dragoon over for is if your bard is a megalomaniac and they need to have that piercing team.
Yeah,
right. That's it. That's the only reason you want to Dragoon.
And then you team up Warrior and Samurai, you get that slashing debuff. It's just so good.
Samurai's out of control.
So well, I sure do miss that piercing debuff. Our Dragoon did go Samurai.
Yep.
Right.
Like he was one of the smart ones.
That's what I see happening. That's what I see happening.
Yeah.
Now, it's not that they can't be fixed, because last time on the show, if you guys caught episode 103, Charles was talking about how he made a shift to Red Mage. And I'm assuming that still holds true. And so they made some summoner adjustments, and they tease more summoner adjustments. Charles, can you weigh in on the summoner adjustments and your thoughts there?
Sure. Bio and Miasma 3 went up by 10 potency, which is about 25%, which is cool. I mean, it was about 20% of your damage if you were raiding. So it ended up being 5%. If you think of the numbers on it, it goes to like if you have both on and you let them run the 30 seconds, it's like 1,000 potency ability. Right.
But, yeah.
And it did well. There's a little bit of bad reporting though, because certain third-party tools don't know that it changed, and others do. So just saying, look into that.
Google.
If you want to know. But it was a good change. I mean, it helped Summoner out. They do need to fix the same problem with Dragoon, really. When you die or you drop, your stacks, you have to rebuild them back up. Like, well, Bahamut's not coming back for 2 minutes now. I'm screwed.
Yeah.
It sucks. But yeah, I am still a Red Mage. I will tell you my problems there later.
All right. Probably later in the show. All right.
I will tell you my problems with your Red Mage as well.
We should literally change the segment.
Poor Red Mage, man. Had so much going for it. We're just gonna.
The segment where we were talking about what we were playing is now I will tell you my problems. It's a whole new title change for that segment coming up soon. Michelle. So I don't know. Like, have you? I've got you listed here talking about a little bit about the changes to Astrologian, who seems to still be highly favored over Scholar, especially for their shielding ability now. But do you have the changes that they made for Astrologian?
Just a couple of them. Mostly the Spear, which used to be the bane of every Astro's existence.
It used to be the redraw or the burn.
Exactly. When they added the thing where you could either get Lord or Lady of Crowns, was like, that is fodder for that. But now it gives you a 10% crit buff. And who doesn't love crit in this particular expansion?
Oh man, you couple that with direct hit, and it's just it's the numbers just look so good.
Very nice. So now it's kind of like, oh, I got balance or crit. What's this arrow? I don't care. Burn that.
Well, one of the things that the game stigma is always important, and it's that you get into a habit, you get into this like cadence. I would say that people still would see the steps of faith today and be like, "Oh gosh, drop," as opposed to the fact that it's so easy. But there's that stigma that comes with that content. Same thing with probably the Spear. It's going to take a little bit of time for that to kind of percolate in the minds of everybody.
And I mean, for people who are up on the news, I don't think so at all.
Right.
They're going to be like, please give me that crit. Give me. Right?
Well,
Especially if you're a bard.
That's a good competition with the balance now. You know, it feels like there's a couple of like really juicy cards that you just want, you know.
You know, it's that crit is for all those bards where the dragoon went to samurai.
Yeah, because there's no battle in
See, they keep band-aiding dragoon without fixing the problem.
On the rare occasion I actually get one of those, I can tell the difference, just putting that out there.
Yeah.
The other nice thing is they put it so you can undraw the card you have saved, which wasn't a huge deal all the time before we had sleeve draw, where it would put random stuff in all your slots. So now you can get something there you don't necessarily want, like AoE TP, you know? You're like, wow, I wish I could use that AoE on something else that I have.
It's like all my name days have come at once.
All my name days.
Card and wait for the next draw. So.
Oh my gosh.
It's nice to not have to waste your burned card to get rid of that.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing that I've just started leveling my Astrologian, and one of the things I love is that UI, that being able to communicate my held and what bonuses. Like, because I would burn this one. It's like, what kind of bonus is now going to be rolled out on top of if I use that card? So
I actually get confused by those because I knew them already just from having played a class. So when I look over and I see 200 or whatever else thing is on there, I'm like, I find the little symbol more helpful.
Okay.
Because one of them looks like a clock.
Gotcha.
There you go.
Right.
So if it's not a clock, then it's potency.
Gotcha.
So we obviously are going to have more job adjustments that are going to be coming and rolling out. The question, like I see some, Band-Aids and different fixes. I know some people who want some bigger overhauls. Honestly, at some point that does become more of an expansion level kind of thing. But I'm excited about 4.1. There's going to be another round in 4.1. Should be a good opportunity, and hopefully that kind of helps settle down any kind of changes going forward. But
basically,
go ahead.
Basically, this patch, it's all just like little tweaks that they can do, right? Like we'll add a little potency or reduce things. Any big major changes will come with 4.1.
Well, they need proper testing. You never want to rush that out and then be like, well, we thought we were fixing it and we made it just the worst. And then
they've got to gather this.
The worst case scenario is like the player who only has that one job and then everything else is like level 1. And it's like, okay, now I feel like I have to go grind up and all, as opposed to somebody who's just kind of has multiple options. So
So there's still some hope for dragoons.
Always. There's always
I'm not holding my breath, but there's maybe there's still some hope for dragoons.
We're gonna get more into that and what's
not to mention poor machinists.
Oh yeah.
It's weird because I've heard machinists have been getting better. So I think the problem is that Square just doesn't know what they're doing with them.
They've been getting better, but they're also dominating in PvP. So it's like,
I love machinist PvP. It plays really nice, and then it's just everywhere else it's garbage.
Oh, Brian.
Yes.
Are we gonna talk? We're gonna save your PvP thing for later.
We're gonna save my PvP thing for just a
all
little
right.
bit.
Never mind.
But we only have two. We only have a couple more things in the news. We have Omega Savage. We can get more into our impressions here and what we're playing if you guys are playing Savage. But anybody want to just jump in on any thought or tease of the Savage raids?
It's more fun.
Yeah, it's definitely more fun.
Oh, I'm so impressed. I am really happy with. I don't know what is right about it, and we can dive into more of that here in a bit. But I just like it feels at least way more engaging than Alexander, and I don't know if that's just the story portion of it, but
it's that content action button in O2.
Content action button. I'm not gonna knock it. I kind of think that's kind of fun, but
Michelle
I honestly
really
think that I'm not having to
when
talk
I said
and try
that.
to. I honestly think it's not me having to translate goblin speak.
Oh yeah, that helps too.
Shiny, clean things. I know what that is. All right.
I imagine people who were more involved with was it 5? 4?
Yes,
5.
Final Fantasy 5. Yeah,
I've played 4. I haven't played 5. So I imagine people who played 5 are much more interested in this content than say I am, for example. I guess it's kind of cool and.
Well, I mean, look, the first 3, you're just kind of like, all right, but you've heard of X-Death.
I have,
right? Yeah.
So you can see him. You've played a Dissidia, or you've seen a Dissidia or something. You can be like, oh, I know that guy. It's fine. Yeah. It's fine.
What I'm excited for, though, the concept is cool to me. When they do the next 2 and we get bosses that I do know from other Final Fantasy.
There you go.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
I really
that could
want the Four Fiends. I really
Yes.
want them.
They have
as a
to
set.
one day.
Well,
That'd be
it's
so cool.
I think the way you got to look at it too, just from a story perspective, is are they just pulling whatever, or are they pulling it from games where Omega was?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's,
Because if that's true, we could see like an 11
Oh,
tier,
man.
which would
Yes,
be
that's true.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Chlorifex
Would
is
we-
saying Garland
who
or
would we
Riot.
fight?
Oh, Garland.
we fight
That
mammoths
would
on
be
an airship.
Such a
Final
throwback.
Fantasy
Oh my
one,
gosh.
yeah.
The
Dudes with little pom poms on their head.
Yeah, and you gotta throw yellow liquid at them.
oh my goodness. Oh my
You
goodness.
can
Yeah.
bottle it yourself ahead of time, and
Since I love 5, it is amazing. Like seeing all those bosses
Yeah.
from the interdimensional rift, and then
Mhm.
X-Death turns into a tree, and then not, and it's like
and
that's
then
cool.
and then Neo X Death.
Oh, it's so amazing.
Once people started hitting O4S,
Mhm.
just seeing like the first group that got to Neo, and just seeing how he enters
The animation
into
is so good.
he's like knocks through like the black void of the like those, oh my gosh.
What's really
it's so
cool
cool.
about that, though, is that it's just like with, I guess, where we had Diablos, that there was a part in the fight where it's actually another boss. You transition in the boss
Yeah.
fight to a new boss, and that's exactly what happens. And if you wipe there, you actually start at Neo X Death,
That's nice.
Which
which
very
is not
nice,
just
yeah.
nice,
I mean-
but it's just so cool. Like we
It's
actually
also
got,
super surprising for a savage mode. I
It's-
just
Yeah.
It's
We've had that
exactly
before,
what we
though.
need, though. It's exactly what, like, that is so, I think,
Yeah.
great for that community who really wants that hard level content. And then, there's other changes that they've already talked about. We've talked about on the show, but they're going to get another hard, mode something, another
Super
savage mode,
savage.
super savage, with 4.1, so that there's still something to look forward to and challenge yourself. Or
for the 1% of players out there that have gotten
it's
that
important.
far.
Yeah.
It's important for those players, though.
That's-
it's
yeah.
like
I feel like
But-
it's more than that.
Yeah, but
I think a
here's-
lot
I
of
don't know. I
groups
would
that have been
say-
doing from the beginning are past 3 or
Right, but
almost
Yeah.
under 3.
the Savage Raiders in that community represents a smaller portion than the overall whole of just regular players, and their job, it's kind of like usually people like to pit casual and hardcore against each other, and it's
Right.
not that we're a symbiotic relationship where the hardcore's job is to inspire the casual player to become them.
Exactly.
The casual player's job is to fund the game so that they can have that kind of content.
Yeah.
my
It's just
biggest
Go ahead.
My biggest worry with it though is we know we're getting fewer dungeons in
Yes.
4.x.
Yeah.
Because they're putting time into other content.
Mhm.
And so for me, who is not in a Savage Raid group anymore, because
Mhm.
thanks Dragoon.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be like because I'm adulting.
No, it's because my DPS was too low on my Dragoon.
Oh,
That's
man.
a
That
mess
sucks.
right now. But it's like, okay, so you have that really small percentage of people doing raiding, and that's fine, whatever. If you want to give them more stuff, that's great. But and this is a big but. If you're taking dev time out of like giving us an extra dungeon each patch in order to give this tiny percentage of players a little something extra, that's I don't know how I feel about that.
Right.
Like
We don't
great for
know-
them, but the reality of me ever seeing it is so small, or somebody else that's not in a Savage Raid group.
Yeah. Go ahead, Michelle.
We don't know that all of the extra content they're going to put in is just going to be for like hardcore raiders.
Oh, right. And I'm not
Right.
saying that, but I'm saying if some of that, and we still don't know what the heck we're getting for Omega, right? We still don't know what it's
No
going to
idea.
entail. But if that is something that's like a significant reason of why they're putting out less like more casual
Mhm.
content, I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
We
I
definitely
mean-
need.
My thought
more
is,
horizontal. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah.
My thoughts is it'll go to the Evilise stuff, which we still don't know what that is.
Right. Yeah.
The what?
Evil
Evil
stuff.
The Evilise.
It's a
The
raid.
raid.
It's a
It's a
24-man raid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
but
it's casual. That's really
The raid-
casual.
the-
It's just it's something we know that we were going to get anyway. It's
Yeah.
not it's not
A surprise.
something added. It's not
Yeah.
something taken away. It's something that is just we've gotten it every single version.
Square Enix has an opportunity, but they have the challenge at the same time to show what that is. Like
Right.
because if you look at ARR, we got 3 dungeons per patch. We got 2 with Heaven's Word. We're kind of getting 1.5 is what I've been calling it because we get 2 then 1, 2 then 1. The worst case scenario is that they keep the experts like into this 2 to 3. The expert roulette needs to pull from a wide range, and that every time they get a new dungeon in the 70s, they just need to be a part of the expert because of the reduced dungeons Otherwise, if I have to go throw myself against 2 or 3 dungeons every 3 months, I'm just done with that content after a month,
Right.
and I'm not.
All
And,
right.
then and then people are like, "Why aren't people tanking?" Because we're done.
Well, and if they have more dungeons in the expert roulette, think of how faster the queues would be.
Oh, absolutely. The second thing though is that the challenge that Square Enix has to do is that they have to show us what we're getting because we're getting less dungeons. If we get our 24-man raid, if we get this, if we get the things that we always have expected and nothing more, there's it's gonna feel like the game's doing well. Not 10 million subscribers, but the game keeps growing. We got new people. There's money. Square Enix is being profitable. Where are they investing that money? We even had the leaked or rumored budget report for Stormblood. Like, where is that investment going, and where's my return?
Yeah.
Because
and here's the other problem
with
with that too is we know we're getting a new PvP mode. We know they've been looking at Bloodspall.
Yeah.
Yes.
We know there's going to be a new deep dungeon.
Yep.
But that's all still stuff that we got in 3.0.
Right.
So there needs to be something on top of that.
Yeah.
We're getting Eureka, but in 3.0 we had Diadem.
Right.
So
And
there
Diadem
needs
is
to be
dead now.
a lot more extra stuff.
Yeah,
if
and
they're-
Diadem is completely dead now, and so it's just this
Diadem
concept-
was dead the day after it launched.
It was, and that's where, and so what we were really calling for, in a positive way. Like, I like to, I'm enjoying the game, obviously, but what we need to see is what is that horizontal piece? Because then if you look at each of these pillars as various content and things to do, what is that new horizontal piece? Because if it's just tying into we're getting the same horizontal stuff and nothing new or interesting, then yes, then that's not, I don't think it's the right trade-off. I do agree that we have an abundance of dungeons. We have just an abundance of dungeons. There's no reason to say that this game needs to have 10,000 dungeons before we introduce something else. But
no, and that's a fair point, because how many old dungeons are we going back and doing? Like, yeah, we do. There's like the different roulettes and stuff, but it is. There are too many.
From a cost perspective, a development perspective, position, Square Enix has a lot of content that is just kind of dwindled out and not really active, that they could easily refresh that, bringing in the ability to run all the primals at a level 70 difficulty, all of a sudden makes all of those fights relevant. Could be the same fight. Again, I don't think the community is asking for it and it's not needed, but there is still, from a cost and management perspective, you can take things that exist now and just then tweak them and modify them. But we'll dive more into that later.
But is that new content, though?
I don't know.
That's
what they
thing.
have to sell us. That's what they have to
That's
show
the problem.
us. And maybe we'll see that with the anniversary event. Maybe we'll see that at the next live letter. It's got to happen sometime within, I think, before 4.3. Because if it's something that is like, hey, here's 4.5 and here's that new content that we promised you, and you got this because you sacrificed 3 or 4 dungeons. I don't know if the trade-off's going to be there, because usually by that point everybody's just excited about whatever the next expansion is. So anyway,
dungeons. Going back to the very, very, very first thing I was going to say, it doesn't bother me that they're putting less in there. And you said that you would get sick of them over time and just stop running them if there were fewer. But once you get all the points you need for the gear you need, people stop running them anyway.
Right.
Like in the last bit of each section that has a different raid tier and different gear tier, I don't run them for many, many weeks at the end.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't. And then the fact that the gear can't be sold, there's all these issues that there's no value in unless if you got the pieces you want, there's really why should I go? I don't need the tomes. I don't need the gear. And
so
Grand
why
Company
should they put
seals.
Why should they put as much effort
Ventures.
into extra dungeons?
I agree. They
a fair
don't need
point.
to put it in there. What they need to do is they need to figure out what to do with how to incentivize players to go back in. As somebody who tanks and heals primarily, why I won't do that if I don't need it. And so there's no incentive. The leveling offers an incentive right now, and maybe we'll see that also jump into later half of the 70 stuff. But anyway, the last bit of news in this section before Michelle talks about the furniture design contest was the Lost Algian gear. Obviously, this is Algian. I can't speak, but so this is the set that's based off the gear design contest winners. So have you guys seen this in game? Have you guys acquired it yet?
I got a body piece and I haven't capped home since.
It looks good. I'm really impressed with the designs, and it's really cool to see that transition in here. You got to think that the people who, the person who made this has this hopefully excitement to be wearing their gear. The question I would have, and obviously I can't
It'd be
ask them
funny
right
if
now.
they're not a tank. Don't have a
Well,
tank.
yeah, that's the thing. They're not a tank, but it's that. Imagine if like it's like that's then all they wear. Like, hey, I made I designed this.
I made
and
this,
You know,
yeah.
I made this. And this is all. I'm
I
gonna wear.
mean, I would not blame them.
No,
Yeah.
not at all.
I might do that.
So,
Obviously, they like how it looked because they
Yeah.
made it. So
and so there was a contest that was on the forums. It was it was called An Action, and then Square Enix announced the contest winners on the forum with the link there as well.
some pretty cool screenshots.
Oh, yeah.
Like, people becoming artists with G pose.
Yes.
I like how they keep investing in that, but hopefully that's not the horizontal content that we were just talking about. All right, I'll take out the salt and we'll move on.
They're pretty much done with G-Post, they said. So
Michelle, how about you break down some of the furniture design contest stuff that's coming up for the players?
All right, so I don't know about you guys, but I'm super into housing, like stupidly into housing.
I
Like
am.
when they told us they were gonna double furniture slots in houses,
You're like,
I was like, all
yeah,
right,
right?
That's all I need out of Stormblood. I
That's
don't care what
my
else you
end
give
game.
me.
That's my end
fine. So people all the time are posting on the forums requesting other kinds of furniture, and a lot of it actually does get implemented, but I guess they decided finally they were going to do a contest with it.
Oh, nice.
And I think everybody should just submit mannequin designs.
yeah.
Mannequins would be
I
great.
actually have a couple ideas, which I'm not going to share, but
There you go.
I wish I could submit more than one, honestly.
I'll
So,
submit it for you. I got you.
There you go.
Okay.
Team up.
Now it's on record. Oh.
Nope. You promised, man. Anyway, all the prizes would go to your character. I don't really care about the prizes. I
I
just
actually
put my
have.
stuff in game.
What do I have? I have one of them, I think.
I mean, the deadline is Monday, August 28th, which is fast approaching. That's what.
Yeah,
8 days
a week
away?
from Monday. Yeah.
Yep. Get it in quick.
Get it going.
Hurry up. So you don't do any stuff like exteriors, roofs, decorations, blah blah blah. So you can't design, the next carbuncle. Can't be Ruby Carbuncle house.
Actual
stuff like that.
inside furniture items is what they're
Inside
looking
stuff.
for.
They're going to select 100 winners. And all these 100 winners get the basic 6 things that they always offer. You don't have to pick one, you get all 6.
Wow.
It's
Yeah.
the Gala Cat.
Back in my day, you had to pick one of those.
Yes.
So that's the Gala Cat hat.
Crazy.
You get that.
Wind
You
Dragon
get
was
the Noble
good.
Birding. You get the Bluebird Earring, the Andrea Choker, the Ariman Choker, and the Scarf of Wondrous Wit.
Oh yeah.
So
I just
Good
like the name of
old
that scarf.
scarf of wondrous wit.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I don't.
You know-
I'm not sure why it's wondrous or witty, but
I still like the
Who knows?
alliteration. So
Yeah.
wondrous wit.
If there's 100 winners, are there going to be 100 items that we get? Like, are all of them going to make
That's,
it?
that's
That's
No.
my
like
question.
it. No.
No.
I think
Okay.
they're probably just taking them as suggestions,
Yeah.
and they'll
Yeah,
pick 100,
basically,
and then
they're
they'll
gonna
take
be
a
like,
handful or something out
Here's
of
the
that.
100, and what the contest actually says is we don't promise to implement any of these,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
they might.
And then,
Yeah,
and then
they could.
all of them.
4.3, someone would be like, "Hey, that's my bookshelf."
Yeah.
Like that's how it'll happen.
That's
I made
exactly
that.
how it'll be.
I made
So
Yeah.
they're
'Cause we
just
need
going
more
to take
bookshelves.
100 suggestions. Well, they'll hopefully take more than 100 suggestions.
Mhm.
They're
Yeah.
going to pick their favorite 100, and of those 100, 1, 2,
Some of
3,
them-
or all of them might be implemented.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So you have a chance. You have a very large chance
Yeah.
to get a piece of furniture into the game.
Yep.
Do it.
Cool, cool.
Do something good for all of us.
Yes. Well, based off the gear design, I think they're at least somewhat selective on that.
Yeah.
So.
I'm pretty excited to scroll down a list of 100 pieces of furniture and see what kind of.
Oh,
cool
you
stuff
know what?
people
You know what
think
I
of.
would design? I would design a Sephiroth statue
Oh.
because we
Oh,
have one
right.
for Sophia, and we have one.
Yeah, we need
I really
one.
want to
Why
just
don't
put them
we
in a
have-
little triangle with their
Yeah,
butts.
Warrior
towards each
Triad.
other.
There's 3 of them. We have statues for 2.
Mhm.
What?
Sephiroth is just too big.
You need to put
It
them all,
doesn't make any
Sephiroth
sense
is
put
too
them all
big.
together, etc., and then
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
All right, so another contest.
Mhm.
I was like, this way. That's not the camera. All right. The other thing going on right now is the Moonfire Fair, and probably a lot of you have already
I liked it.
participated in that.
Yeah.
Yes. I actually hadn't been
Not
out to
that.
Costa at all to see all the swimming stuff.
The
It's pretty
swimming
cool.
is so
Yeah.
fantastic. It just
It's pretty.
it really
There's a
feels
whole
very
new
similar.
island out there now,
Yeah.
just
really
so
is.
you have an excuse to swim.
Unless is the one island like a new thing for this event, or
No,
they're-
it's good.
It's
there.
with Stormblood because they added swimming, and they're like,
Mhm.
we should add a little island, and you can like swim
And
to the
down
island.
south, there's a bunch of rocks that you can sit
Mhm.
on too.
There you
So
go.
there's a bunch of stuff.
If you like
on
to
there.
sit on rocks,
Yeah.
Stormblood is the expansion for you.
Do it.
That's what I'll be doing when I can't get groups on my Dragoon. I'll just be sitting on those rocks.
Oh, this is a flashback to 11. That can't get group on Dragoon. Oh man.
Dude, I don't know artillery parties though.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So
Poor
from the
Black
Moonfire
Widows.
Fair, you get a dyeable set of the Shisui dungeon gear.
Yep.
Mhm.
I personally call that dungeon slut dungeon. Not to
I mean,
shame
yeah.
anybody.
Yeah.
Well, if it's coming from you,
It's
it's
not
not as
wrong.
bad.
But and I mean, some of the gear is cute, and it's also very skimpy.
As long
Exactly
as long
like-
as it's not for any of the male characters, it's really cute.
I actually like the
Put it
male
on a
top.
guy,
I
it
think
gets
if
a
they
little
made,
creepy.
I think if they'd made the pants actual pants, it would have been.
Pants are
The
so
pants
weird.
look
Absolutely.
awful.
Pants are
Whatever they
so
I
weird.
know, but you gotta make a little bit
It's
of
like-
different kind of
it's
stuff
like-
for everybody.
It's like somebody wanted
Yeah.
to put assless chaps in the game, and like that's the best they could do with like the M rating or whatever. Like, they're like we can do
I'm
this.
just gonna let you know, all chaps are assless.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
You heard it here,
Whatever.
folks. Here, Aetheryte
Whatever.
Radio 104
Whatever.
confirms all chaps
Every-
are assless.
Every kind of chaps.
Whatever.
Assless. So yeah, you get the top, the bottoms, and the shoes.
Mhm.
For that, they're all dyeable, and I think they're after the monk set. So they do have the stockings on them, which made me sad personally, because I just wanted the cute little skirt.
Mhm.
But you also get the shaved ice that we've had to make and or eat for the past couple summers. You get that as a little furnishing. Got a little straw spoon in it. It's really super cute. It's
Yeah.
really big. I think.
I
that you
wish those
probably-
items were just normal furnishings and weren't food furnishings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can pick it back up again.
Because it's like I'm not gonna eat this seasonal thing. Like I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
put it up here with like my other seasonal stuff. But then if you like move a house or something, it gets gone.
Yeah.
No.
So I wish they would just
Never
make it,
move.
just have it just stay frozen the whole time. It's fine.
I actually
People
made
want
a little pantry in my house so that I could hide the seasonal food in there.
Oh, very
Nice.
nice.
And what else? Oh, you get the Hyper Rainbow Z Orchestrion roll, which
Yep.
is Power Ranger theme, basically.
And then the poster.
Yes. I forget what it looks like. I think it's got a Makote on it.
It's whatever the like last year's.
Fireworks.
I think it's last year's Moonfire Fair
Yeah.
artwork.
Mhm.
So if you like the
Something like
wall
that.
arts, then
Yeah.
they
Don't
covered
care.
you as well. I think that's all the prizes.
Mhm.
That's all you can get from it.
So cool event. Go do it if you haven't. Oh man, I should actually bring up the fish thing.
Okay, go ahead.
So 2 years ago, if you did the event, you know that you had to make battered fish and turn those in to get your tokens for your gear. And you have to do it again this year. Approximately 3 months ago, I threw away my battered fish.
Oh no.
Because I was like, I'll never use this again.
To be
Don't
fair,
throw
if
it.
you've had them that long, they probably were smelly and probably wouldn't want to eat.
that's
You know,
NPCs don't care. But anyway,
maybe they should.
you can
Probably should.
buy the fish at a vendor that I don't think is marked next to one of the like floaty balloon barrel things that's out there
Yeah.
on the thing. And a lot of people don't know that they're trying to fish them.
Mhm.
And I think they're really cheap. So just a little tip for people
Yep.
who haven't done it yet. You can buy the fish and everything else is a really super easy gather, or you can buy it really cheap from a market guy in town.
I mean, that having been said too, there are quests that you can repeat as well to get those tokens for the event.
Oh, yeah.
So you don't need to turn in the fish. The fish are the
Fish is
easiest
just
way.
faster.
The
Yeah,
fish are
definitely
the fastest way. Fish are the fastest, but
Mhm.
then depending on it all depends on the cost.
Right.
You know, so it's or you can just make it yourself. But from an ingredients perspective, it's always interesting to see those markets adjust. So like, wait
It's
a
cheap.
minute,
It's a low level craft. Like just
Yeah.
just
Oh, yeah.
make
Unbelievable
it.
one.
If you need to knock the event out quick, just if you don't want to see
Do it.
Ultros looking at
I love
bikini
that. I love
clad
that
women.
Ultras.
I love the storyline.
You're like,
for
no,
the
I'm
event.
into it. I'm doing it.
The event,
Yeah.
the story for that event was great.
And then I think lastly we've got Tales from the Storm, which is the kind of these 4.0 short stories leading up into the anniversary event, which I think is happening on the 27th or something like that. But if you guys haven't checked this out, the Tales of the Storm on the Lodestone, you can go read and get a little bit more lore about what's going on in some of these characters' perspective,
It's
etc.
pre 4.0 stuff so far.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get to it touches on how Raubon became Pippin's dad after he traded him for a beer.
Yeah.
Not to
That's got a
spoil
nod
it,
in
but
there.
there's I think the first one is actually how Ida and Papolimo end up with the resistance beyond the wall. So it's kind of a cool little tidbit. The second one, actually, I haven't read it yet, but I noticed at the top you can tell it whether you're a female or a male warrior of light. So I assume it changes all the pronouns.
They had that in the last
cool.
one, I think, too. Yeah.
So they're basically the same thing as the Guardian stories that we got.
I mean, we had Tales from the Calamity. We had Tales from the Dragon Song War, I think is what it was called for 3.0. And then we had Before the Storms. So.
All right, so our next bit, or our big topic that we've got for the show here.
News over.
It's just going to be us ranting about various things.
I called it like, what have we been
mostly
doing
including Red
in
Mage.
Game, what's going on? And then we've been kind of talking about the concept of how to manage burnout. But we've decided that we're going to kind of, I guess, have that topic at the next episode, talking about game burnout, how to kind of manage it and how to deal with it, especially when gapping between patches. In a game like this. And so anyway, if you guys have any thoughts or feedback and stuff like that, when this goes up on the page, make sure you let us know in the comments. We'd like to try to include any kind of...
we'll get a post up for it. So
we're going to have a post up on that at a later date. So we decided we're not going to talk about that burnout piece, but we wanted to tease it for our next show. And instead, we were calling.
We want to hear your ideas.
Yeah.
Send them.
We were going to talk about what we've been playing, but I decided we're going to officially call this, Let Me Tell You What's Wrong. Because that's just that's what we're gonna end up talking about. So
everything is wrong.
So
I'm gonna start.
Yep, we've got Michelle up first. Michelle,
I'm actually not gonna start, but I'm gonna tease you.
Michelle, what's wrong?
My biggest problem right now was you spelled my name wrong.
Oh, wow!
I'm dyslexic.
Wow.
That's my only. It's on my only defense.
I'm teasing.
You know what really grinds my gears?
What really grinds your gears, Fusion?
It's when I can't find the droids I'm looking for.
All right, somebody who has an issue, go ahead.
So literally no issues? Well, then you can talk about like what you've been doing in game.
Sure.
So I've been raiding. My group is in the first part of 4.
Ooh.
Nice.
My healers. Oh no, I shouldn't complain. My healers are having a rough time.
Yeah,
they don't
translation.
Like
my healers are horrible.
No, they're
people.
not. They're actually
really
very very good healers, but
it's just
they don't enjoy it, and it's been a little bit of a rough time.
Mm-hmm.
I was asked to meld vitality, which is not unreasonable.
Mm-hmm.
It's been done for many eons. So I was looking into it, and I already have enough health. Like I'm 2k over like the cap that they suggest for Bard. So nice. I was like, oh well, I'm not gonna do this.
More crit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You want to kind of stay around 2k, or it's not useful almost, which is crazy. Right. But so I didn't want to get rid of any of mine because I'm only just a little bit above 2k.
Yeah.
And then I think I got shoes. The night where I went in to see how much my HP was, and I put the shoes on, and I'm like, oh, I'm at 38k, I'm fine.
We're good.
Also, more crit in these shoes.
Get more crit in those shoes.
Yeah, I'm, not to go into my section yet, but regarding that, since I'm in the group, we're in the same group. Yeah, I've got a
I can't stand
meld vitality.
Red mage.
Got a meld vitality as a red mage because casters have no HP. And, I'm using like just gear that has more vitality that doesn't really give me damage and, that sort of thing. They're
going to watch this later and be like, how dare you badmouth me on the internet?
No, I'm badmouthing the idea of casters having such low HP. That's what I'm badmouthing.
You're a caster, man.
I know.
That's the risk. That's the risk.
I know.
You should just be used to it by now.
Awesome.
I should just, not have HP. That's fine. I don't even look at the HP. I don't care what my HP is.
Just don't get hit and you'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. Was that the end of your rant?
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably think of other things as you, or agree with you guys as you rant.
Yeah, sure. All right. Well, I guess I am next on the list. So, Red Mage.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I still love it. It's fun.
Here we go.
Here we go. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. It is.
Like fencing.
Yeah. It's cool. It's shiny. It's great. It's.
Your outfit's so pretty.
Yeah, it's a little bit too easy for me. I don't like that. I like more of stuff going on. But when crap hits the fan, that's when you have.
We should just trade jobs.
Maybe. I don't know. But my problem that I have with it is that all that utility comes at a cost. Of course, it has to. That's the way things work.
Mm-hmm.
I hate the cost. I absolutely hate the cost. I know, like the last time we were doing Halicarnassus, which is 3S,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I'm doing a thing. I'm doing okay damage. 3 people die at the end. This is like the last run of the night. We need to beat it tonight so we can do it tomorrow. I triple raise all of them. We then beat it at the second that she enrages. And I'm like, that's cool. And then I go, yeah, that's why Red Mage doesn't do the damage that I want it to do. Because it can just save everyone. Like, it just saves everyone.
It's Red
Constantly.
Mage. You're the jack of all trades, master of none.
Right, exactly. And
Or
that
we could just
Master of
not
None.
die.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, true.
You know,
I mean,
alternatively,
that's true.
yeah.
I mean, that's
Don't
more,
eat shit.
That's more on
You
them.
don't have any dragoons. I don't understand why there's so much death going on.
But
Doesn't make any sense.
my problem is I still like Summoner more, but I can't switch back to Summoner because
Yeah.
Red Mage is invaluable.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
you just can't. You can't give it up. Like, sure, if your group is set up to not have it in the first place, don't put a Red Mage in there. Just don't do it. That's what I'm telling you right now. You'll be stuck. You will be stuck. Much like Samurai. If you put a Samurai in there, you stop. I mean, you don't change it. Why would you do it? I mean, that's really my only problem right now. Like I said, I love to raid. I've been raiding for 12 years or something.
Don't think about it.
Completely. Yeah. From
You're
Any
old.
game.
That's all they
Yeah.
need to know. You're old. You've been playing video games for a long, long time.
yeah, you know, I've been in the world first race before and other games, and like I can't stop, so I'm not going to stop. I just wish. I don't know how to fix the problem. I don't know.
Job
I
balance.
do.
Yeah, exactly.
Job balance is how you fix the problem. Unfortunately,
Correct.
that's something Square Enix doesn't believe in with 4.0.
Oh, whatever. That's salt. Okay, so on the salt list, Andrew, go ahead for it.
Which leads right into my next problem.
Fusion
So
lives
I've-
in Alamigo now.
Right,
All
so
your
I've been in a bit of
Salt
a
flats.
I've been in a bit of a job route with Dragoon, right? It's like there's the big fundamental issue, right, with the eyes and stuff, and they haven't been fixing it. They keep doing other things, which is great. It's making it better, but it's still not resolving like the problem that everybody has been having with it. And I've been playing Samurai a little bit. I got my Samurai up to 61, and then I got my Red Mage up to 54 or so. And playing these two new jobs versus like Dragoon, who is in charge of balancing stuff over at SE? Like Samurai
Look at your
send
serious face.
seriously, Samurai send charges, right? You get the little 3 things, you combo, you get one. They will stay there forever.
Yeah.
If you proc a Ver spell on Red Mage, you get 30 seconds.
Yep.
Meanwhile, on Dragoon, I'm sitting over here with a 20-second Blood of the Dragon timer, and my eyes will drop the second that wears off.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell? Like that doesn't make any sense to me.
Oh man, I just had to say it.
Doesn't make
You gotta-
any sense.
You got to get good. That's-
No. You get right out with that. It doesn't. These two jobs are so lenient
Yeah.
with their timers.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Dragoon, it's just like the complete opposite.
We talked
And it
about
doesn't make any sense to me.
we talked about like the summoner, like the trade-off right now is that you don't have a timer. You can store and you can sit on those
Right.
on those charges. You can screw up and then you're going to actually get less charges, and that's kind of the penalty trade-off as opposed to like, okay, I just need to refresh. Same thing kind of applies to the scholar. I actually prefer that now, especially on when I'm scholaring it up. But
Right.
yeah, like your point is very valid. It seems that the timers and the resources have gotten
Are going
easier to
away,
manage
yeah.
on some of the other jobs. And Dragoon, it's 20 seconds. It goes by quick.
Yes.
It goes by real
Yeah,
quick.
especially
And
during a phase
mechanics-
change.
Yeah, mechanics. That's where you lose the
Watching
mechanics.
those 3 seconds, waiting
You're
for
like,
that boss to come down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else on that Andrew?
I do wanna,
No, I just they need to fix their stuff.
I do want to
Make
Go
Dragoon
ahead.
great again.
Go ahead, Charles.
Oh no! This is in support because you have Dragoon with that timer, and there's a couple other classes or jobs that are similar. Like they're a little bit harder, but Samurai and Red Mage are just so easy.
It's the opposite of Heavensward,
Yeah, it's just
right?
so
Because when Astrologian and Machinist came out, there was a lot to them. I mean, Machinist is still a train wreck of complication.
right, exactly.
Throughout Heavensward, like Machinist was like my second job, but I'm like terrible at it. I have no idea how to play this thing, and it's even worse now that you have to manage heat and all this stuff.
Right.
But it's
And I mean,
yeah.
I don't want to say like it's easy as far as like there aren't world class players.
Don't
who
be
are doing
nice.
Very
Don't be
great.
nice.
No, I'm just saying that there's complexity at the high end, but
Yeah.
they are the ones that they actually hit that goal of getting rid of the like barrier of entry. The lowering how much skill you have to be okay at it.
Yeah.
They succeeded in those two. No other ones really. That's it. Just those two. That's. I mean, every other one. I mean, maybe they've gotten a little bit easier, but they're not
Some
as
of the
easy as
jobs just
Samurai.
don't need the gauge.
Yeah, and, some of them don't even care. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do I need
Yeah,
that for?
the gauges make sense for some, and then for others, it's like, and I have a gauge. It's like,
Yeah,
okay.
it's interesting to see like specifically like a samurai die in the fight, and then they get back up, and then they're below a couple of people, and then they shoot right back up to the top, and then 100 or 200 higher than everyone else, because the only thing that they have to really worry about is Kinky and Sen, and they both kind of work together in such a good synergistic way that they don't care. Whatever.
And even then, like, they get meditate, so you can basically just Kinky right back up. I mean, you can't do anything. It's like Machina's flamethrower, right? You just gotta have to stand there for a second.
Yeah.
But the payoff is worth it. And then you got the I'm horrible with the names of these, but you have that thing where basically you can just like combo whatever you want without doing the thing, so you can go right back up to your 3 Sen skill chain too. So it's like whatever. Meanwhile, on Dragoon, it's so
you're
unbalanced.
In the basement and you're staying there.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me. And if their reasoning is like, well, they have Dragon Sight now, take Dragon Sight away. Nobody likes it. Give us more. Give us funny. 2 eyes.
Because I don't want to rant about Summoner too. Because I don't want to have 2 rants.
Do it. 2 rants.
Go ahead.
2 rants.
2 rants.
Everybody just said do it. You have to do it.
What I want before you go and jump on Summoner real quick, guys, like what I would love to see is a meme created where instead of sloppy, it's salty. I love to get that voice actor because it's like, all right, let's apply some salt. All right,
just say the locks. That's all you need to say.
The locks. Salt.
Oh,
salty.
Man. But
anyway, go ahead.
Some have different problems, but I'll go into that. Anyway, Bahamut is great. Everyone loves Bahamut. It's great. It would be great if he wasn't attached to you by like this much of a chain, so that when you have to,
he gets lonely. He gets lonely.
I know, that's fine. I know we could take him. I should take him up to Ossus Law and see Tiamat, just to give him a little bit of
screwed up, man.
I'm sure someone has done it somewhere, but anyway. So he's following you around, dropping his very weirdly timed auto attack, which is not technically auto. And so that sucks.
It's not auto.
Super infuriating. But the thing that I was going to say is that Dragon Sight and Devotion. So if you're not familiar with Devotion, it's an ability that buffs someone 5% damage or healing. To. Yeah, whoever your pet's closest to, right? Which is hard to land on people. But wouldn't that be perfect for Dragon Sight if it just got the nearest person to you? Like, isn't that what you want Dragon Sight to do, so you don't have to target them?
Right.
Just literally that guy.
Who's that?
And Devotion should be targeted. Like, why don't they just switch that?
Yeah, that's my biggest problem right now with Dragon Sight is you basically need to make multiple macros. Depending on if you're in an 8-man party, if you're in a 4-man party, or if you're duoing with somebody, or if you're with your choke. Like, you need too many macros to make it work, and it's such a pain in the butt.
Right. Like, it should be fire and forget to the closest person to you, because if they're the closest person to you, chances are they're going to be close to you.
That's why we didn't complain about Battle Litany, because you hit a button and it doesn't mess up your DPS at all. Meanwhile, with this, you have to like set up a macro and mash it a bunch of times for it to execute and then target. It's a pain. It's horrible.
I think it's funny that they should have just swapped the targeting of those two, and it would have taken a little bit of complaints away.
Well, Mage's Ballad should also probably have something to do with magic, but that still boggles my mind.
Blasphemy.
I don't understand. I don't understand.
All right. So, anything else on Summoner?
No, not really. I mean, they've said that changes are coming in 4.1. I'm sure that they can pinpoint. I mean, the problems aren't really that many. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, like I always Summoner for experts now. Oh, it's so much fun. Oh god, Summoner and experts. It's just like, I enjoy just murdering every single pack, because everyone's big.
We freaking go in there, and I notice how quickly things die. Let's phrase it that way.
Yeah, let's phrase it.
I'm like, are you sure you don't want to come back to Summoner and raid? Like, are you sure?
If they fix the Bahamut, being scared of being too far away from you, and they just either need to put his attack on an auto attack, because he can't attack while he's moving. So if you're like, when you summon Bahamut, you become a turret, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the problem is that like if you move slightly, he'll move, cancel his waveform, ability, and then okay, well you're losing DPS there. You can at least more, but it's still like there's a couple of things, and then hopefully we'll see some adjustments. And I agree. I love my summoner. I'm just waiting for them to bring out the UI for you can manage your summoner, glamours, and hopefully we get more of those because they say they're coming in the additional patches, but we only got one in 3.5, and so now it's like, all right, is that still a thing?
I mean, there's one in the quest. I'm not going to spoil the quest. You've obviously done it, but there's a Eggy there that's like got all the animations. You could just give me that. Thanks. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I guess my time has come. So,
Yep.
All right.
This is the PvP talk, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my
Okay,
gosh.
let me wake me up when he's done. I'm just gonna doze off here.
So like Frontlines and all that has been great. So we had me and a couple friends, we formed a 4-man group, and we were like, okay, let's really compete in season 5 of the Feast. This will be fun. Like, let's see how well we can do with the new changes. And so season 5 drops, and you can't queue as a team. There is no 4-man season 5 Feast competition. It's only solo Feast queue. And the reason why this just makes it all the worse is, okay, so it wasn't, they took it out with 4.0. I'm like, yeah, they're balancing. There's no real season, so there's no real need to have a 4-man ranked version. It was just the 8-man. You can only queue as 2 people. Okay, fair enough. So, we wrongfully assumed that it was coming back with season 5 of the Feast. Comes out, can't do it. Only can queue solo. Okay, that's a bummer. So we're all just like, well, we're gonna go play like as a team. We were dedicated to do this like one night a week, and we've been doing Frontlines and having a blast with it. But we were really looking forward to trying to compete and seeing how we could do. The thing that makes it all the worst is obviously my bad grammar, but the thing that just makes it like worse is that I was like, okay, well, I want to see how I can do. Queue up solo for it. Queue up solo as a tank. Queue up solo as a healer. It's got a 10-minute queue. And I'm like, it's prime time. It's a 10-minute queue. What is going on? Like, why can't I do this content? Why there's a barrier of entry now, and to the point where, okay, I don't care about the season. It's already, it's been a couple weeks. There's no way I could catch up to the top, especially waiting 10 minutes for each queue, for each match, just to get some small sentiment of points. They need a better system. They have to come up with something better that encourages people to play, even if it's unranked, so that they could try to participate and get some of those rewards. Whether it's Frontlines, whether it's Feast. They need to also fix the whole Frontlines. Like we have 3 different types of Frontlines. They just need to make it Frontlines and then have the rule set and the map change. So that way it has, I want to play this, that. Okay, here's the rules. So there is definitely some more work to be done. I'm hoping that 4.1 brings in that because we're supposed to get a new PvP mode.
Right.
I haven't seen it. But that's my rant. That's my frustration is that we utterly felt just like sucker punched because season 4 you can compete as a 4-man. And my guess is that there weren't enough, or that that we also, when we did it, we'd only fight the same team over and over and over and again. We never saw anybody else. We always saw the same 4 people. So maybe it's a win trading issue. Maybe it's a multiple types of issues that they just haven't figured out, but they need to get to the bottom of it because, in my opinion, I love the Feast. I think it's a great game type. It just feels weird that I can't enjoy it in any kind of way. Like 5-minute queue, fine. But when I hit 10 minutes and it then says I have got 15 minutes on a solo queue for ranked, why do it? It's not worth it. So
I'm genuinely curious what their Feast numbers are. Because they keep doing these tournaments and stuff, and I'm like, is it, not? I know there's some people that love PvP and stuff, but I'm like, is it really that popular that they need to be having tournaments?
I mean,
they want to make a push. They want to make a push into the competitive, into kind of the esport, which I think that's right. I think that's a good move.
That feels weird though. I can't see that happening.
It's again
the
like
people
when
that are into it though are really into it.
When we talk about horizontal content, Square Enix doesn't have to make content that appeals to everybody. Now it's great. It's great when they do, and it's again like let's say if this game made a hard left and it went only like all the new stuff is all PvP, that's the wrong choice. But the fact that they're continually investing in it and I think they're making good choices. That for me, that tells me, as somebody who's interested in PvP and PvE, that this is the game for me. But they have to figure out this matchmaking. They have to figure out this rank systems. They have to figure this out, because if we for whatever reason want to play together, guess what? We can't unless we form a custom. But then how do we do a custom? It's not very intuitive. There's not a lot of options. It would be cool if I could, like in game set up a lobby, and then people could say, and then it would notify people like, hey, there's a lobby, you can join in. Ba-da-da. So,
it's really puzzling with the pre-made groups, because one, they've neutered the chat. So how do you really communicate with the people who you
only
are random with?
Yeah, and you can't with random.
And you can't with random. So it's like, how would you have a tournament like at events where it's a four-person team with voice all together when the actual ranked is solo? Like,
yeah.
How does that make any sense?
How do you practice? Like, if we were going to sit here outside of custom, which means that, okay, we got to find 4 other people who want to do this. Yeah, definitely put it into a roulette. But it's like, yeah, you're right. Like, we can't practice as a 4-man team, and that would be awesome. Anyway, it
doesn't make any sense.
It just feels like, especially with the changes, and I know, like, Fusion's not into PvP. That's fine. You don't have to be into that type of game.
Oh, yeah.
They've done a great job. Like, the PvP balance, the fact that you can get in at level 30, the fact that it gives you XP, the fact that it's a separate system so they can balance those abilities and not screw over PvE players. Imagine if it's like, well, we made this change to Dragoon, and now Fusion's like, now Dragoon's even worse. It's like, well, no.
Dragoon's great in PvP.
Right. Well,
right.
Dragoon
There you go.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of these jobs in PvP feel way better than their PvE counterparts because it's just
a different
idea.
What's up?
I heard Astro is not as favored as it once was.
Oh,
I'm sure that's
they
100%
might make it
because of the shield thing.
Oh yeah, they don't have shields.
Not at all.
And the only
so
shield,
aware.
the only shield.
I went in there the first time and I was like, I don't. I have 3 buttons to press. I don't.
It seems weird that they don't have a shield. It just seems a little bit strange.
They don't have anything special, and you can't do anything with cards except like roll one. Oh, I have a card.
You get it. Enjoy. Don't die, please.
Yeah.
Don't spend it all in one place.
I like that they separated them. Oh, I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead, please.
Okay. I like that they separated them, coming from other MMOs, because that is a problem in every other MMO that has PvE and PvP.
Yep.
If they're not separate.
Destiny is a classic example, and it's not a true MMO, but it's still
exactly.
like, it's like, all right.
And it's interesting because in PvP, all the jobs have a different identity. Like Dragoon, because we're talking about it right now, is like a finisher. It's like an executor. Like they are the one they kind of poke in and out, and then they just murder someone with the hello. Like it's a very assassin type gameplay, which is cool. I like that.
Jobs.
Jobs. It's really cool. Yeah, it seems like a Dragoon should be. But I don't know.
It just is like, for the progress that's made, this was just a stark reminder that we're going in the right direction. I just don't see I don't know when we're going to hit that perfect point, and that point in that type of content that makes it accessible, fun, fair, and and maybe that maybe in my mind I'm setting up the the requirements that I want them to hit too high for now. But anyway, I mean, on a positive side, they're continuing to invest in PvP. The types they got are, I think, really good. I'm looking forward to the new stuff, and I'm looking forward to hopefully giving more feedback and more salt.
Yeah, I don't dread when I'm short like 10 or 20 creation anymore. I'm like, oh, I could go do a frontline.
Exactly,
that's not horrible.
Oh, and then it's like, and then the leveling piece of it is just so good for me, because it's okay, I don't feel like I have to sacrifice leveling a job to play this type of content. The opposite argument is that by the time you hit to the level cap, if you only leveled it this way, you won't know how to play it. That's true. That exactly is true. But for somebody who participates in both, I like the fact that it's not a choice that I have to make whether I need to go run a leveling roulette or if I can go run and play PvP. So, anyway, so our next segment, we're going to be talking about obviously upcoming changes to the show. 8 years.
New things, new things.
So how happy you are.
A little bit.
So Andrew,
I've been drinking a lot of caffeine.
Good. Andrew, why don't you break down some of the changes and topics, and why don't you kick this segment off for us, please?
Yeah, so we've been talking about this for a while. Anybody that regularly listens to the show knows that we're not regular with releases. And so it's been a challenge. Everybody's got lives, everybody's got jobs. It's hard to figure stuff out. So what we're gonna try to do, I'm not gonna like cement this, right? Because we've had this discussion before with everybody. We're gonna do this and it's gonna be great, and we never follow through. So here's what we're thinking about, and we'll see what happens. We are going to commit to one episode each month. This will be a big episode. It'll catch up on all the big stuff that's happened over the last month. We're looking at doing this the last Saturday of every month. So that's what we're gonna do. But then we'll have an issue, right? September is a really great example because in this week is Gamescom. Next weekend is like the 14-hour broadcast with the live letter. The weekend after that is PAX. And then we'd have to wait a whole month to talk about that. We're not going to do that. So what we're going to do is, if you guys remember, way back in the day, we had this thing called Aetheryte Radio News. It was a small show that just kind of, whenever there was news, we would just put it out real quick and just talk about whatever there is to talk about. So we're going to do that. I don't know if we'll call it Aetheryte Radio News, or we'll just call it Aetheryte Radio, and it'll just be a little shorter episode. We're still figuring that out. That's the plan. So that way, once we have Gamescom and PAX done, we can do a small episode, 20, 30 minutes with just 2 or 3 of us, just talk about it, and that'll be it. Then in that monthly show, at the end of the month, we'll talk about the big things from that, and then we'll also hit TGS and whatever else happened. So that's currently the plan. Something else that we're looking to do, we talked about this a little earlier, is a topic. We used to have a topics show back in the day. So what we want to do is, on these monthly shows, we're going to see if we can maybe do a topic. Next one, we're looking at maybe burnout. It's been a topic that's come out. People have been doing Savage and stuff, or casual rating. They're done with it. They beat 4. Okay, now what? Grind tomes. Well, that's it. Yeah. So this is a perfect time for people to go and play another game right now. I'm kind of in that boat too, between the job rut that I'm in with Dragoon and being pissed at Red Mage and Samurai, right? So we want to talk a little bit about that. And so what I'm thinking we might do is we'll have a post up on the site early in the month. We'll gather comments from that. We'll gather comments off of social, Twitter, Facebook. And then at the end of the month, that monthly episode, we'll go into a little more detail and talk about burnout and stuff like that. That's the current plan. That's really it for what we're looking to change. Again, it's not 100% confirmed. Absolutely will do. It is what we are looking at doing. It's what we hope we can do. So hopefully that is something that you guys will like. Kind of in addition to that, we are always looking for volunteers. We would love to get some writers, looking for people that are active both in the game and in the community, posting Lodestone news or just kind of things of interest. You see something on Reddit that's cool, post it. If you're interested in that, check out our volunteers page. There's a link down at the bottom in our footer of the website, and let us know. That's what we're looking to do.
All right, guys.
Maybe after 8 years we'll finally get some repetition in. We'll see. No promises. We'll see.
It's like, the thing is that 8 years, in regards to that, is a staple of like what you guys at Gamerscape have worked so hard and sacrificed. That is a passion, project and community that has just is. I mean, you can't just knock 8 years. I remember when we did. It was the 5 or 6 year show, and we're just talking about like, oh man, remember when we're talking about like 1.0 and stuff like that, but. It's incredible. Like how many things out there have lasted 8 years? Like Seinfeld lasted 9. We're coming up.
None of the other
Seinfeld.
Final Fantasy 14 podcasts, I can tell you that.
We're coming for you, Seinfeld, or whatever. Yeah. I'm just saying, it's like, it's really good.
Really a good goal.
9 years.
Seinfeld.
I'm saying like just like length.
As long as I don't have to wear a pirate shirt, I'm good.
Okay, well, guys, if you follow and subscribe to us on Twitch, Fusion will be wearing a pirate shirt.
I'm not wearing. I don't want to be a pirate.
And then,
now, are we talking like traditional, like actually what a pirate would wear, or a shirt with a pirate on it?
Are we talking ruffles?
Ruffles?
Do you
Ruffles?
do you get the reference?
I don't.
I've never seen Seinfeld.
Seinfeld, there's an episode where he has to wear a puffy shirt,
Yeah.
and they call it the pirate shirt.
Okay.
He goes, I don't want to be a pirate.
Got
And
it.
whatever season that was, when it came out on DVD, it came with the shirt.
Yeah.
See,
That's pretty
that was my
definitely
thing.
call him
I
out
did
on
not
the shirt.
enjoy Seinfeld, so I was like, do we
Oh,
really want to
no.
aim for Seinfeld?
I'm just
No.
picking a show that I knew
Casting
lasted
shade.
9 years.
Yes.
Like, you know,
Yeah.
it's like we already crushed the Arrow. Okay, so they're
Yeah,
at
sure.
5. Like, all right.
How I Met Your Mother. I think that's
yeah,
5 to
how
7.
okay,
That
yeah,
I never saw.
how really? Okay, anyway, I don't want to get us off
we
topic.
can't find this common
Bring it
ground on
back.
TV shows.
Bringing it back into Aetheryte Radio
Sure.
focus.
I have to pick something a little more nerdy, I think.
But yeah, not to plug us too much, but and no pressure either way. But we are Twitch affiliated, and with that, there is a subscribe button. If you guys are a Twitch Prime or not Amazon Prime, and you have and you're not using it for any other channel out there, you know what? That's one way you can support us here on the channel, and that tells us, you know, it helps us maybe put our feet to the fire to commit to that at
That's
least
true.
once a month.
At that same point, we're not plugging that like every stream we do. We're like, hey, sub and stuff, because we don't stream that much. We realize this,
Right.
And we realize there are a lot of other content creators. So if you are literally watching nobody else and you have
There is
Amazon
plenty of
Prime,
people
or you
to
feel like
support.
tossing the money at us, great, awesome, it'll help.
I like
Something.
how he's humble. I'm like, yeah, do it for us.
No, I'm being
He's being
like straight up
it's-
serious.
yeah,
like
I agree with him.
we you know, I don't even remember the last time I streamed Lose Ball, like 2 weeks ago or so.
Yeah.
It's very rare that we stream. We'd like to do it more. We'd like to do more podcasts, but
Yeah.
life, right?
Yeah.
So it's there if you want it. You get a little emote. We're gonna add some other emotes to the other tiers at some point, but it's there if you want to. Otherwise, whatever.
All right. So anyway, that's what we got coming up with the show. Hopefully this year. I kind of like the once a month format because we can hopefully dive into with the topics and with that I guess meteor discussions and things like that. So we're not sitting here, I guess, scrounging for something to talk to you guys about, especially when there's these gaps of like, well, they made a patch and that was it.
We'll be sitting here. So what'd you do this week? I kept tomes. Oh, that's cool.
It's cool,
I
bro.
me too.
Leveling
Okay,
my,
that was fun. Show's over.
My crafters. Thanks, everybody. It was good to see you. All right, so we got some upcoming events that we're going to either be at or not be at.
This is a very busy time.
It's a very busy
yeah.
time.
It's a lot of
It's
stuff
fun
going on.
time. It's a fun time because we're about to go also into the awesomeness of the fall release schedule where our wallets bleed because there are so many great games. Mario Odyssey, come on, buddy. Anyway, so with that, we've got some upcoming events. Charles, would you kind of break down this segment for us? What we got? What do people who might not be in the know can keep an eye out for? Some stuff we'll be at and some stuff we won't. So I'll let you break it down.
Okay, so the first thing, because it's about a week away, is Gamescom. This is in Germany, Cologne, Germany, every year. I think it's around the same weekend.
It's around this time, yeah.
Yeah, this is why it's so busy, because then you have to come right back. 14 will
You
be
like
there.
long flights?
Yeah, exactly. I don't believe we have anyone there. Do we have some people
We
there?
do not have anybody
Okay.
in Europe. If you're listening to the show and you live like in Europe, like Germany or London, want to write for the blog or something, let us
Go
know.
for it.
We have the power. We
Let
can
us know.
produce.
Gamerscape's German correspondent.
Yeah, and you should go because
We have people all over the place. Nobody in Europe.
This is a blind spot.
Do you want to go to events? We know how.
Oh, mm.
We'll pay you $1 million theoretical dollars.
Yes.
They look like this.
Oh, look how glorious that was. So 14 will be there. The dev team will be there. Koji
Yeah,
will be
there's
there.
a lot of stuff they're
Yoshiki will
doing.
be there. And they'll have a Susano and Lakshmi challenges with
I
shirts
dislike
for both
them
of
so much.
I know. I want both.
So much.
They'll have the challenge roulette, which I believe is the same thing that they did at the Fan Fest. You know, they kind of spin a wheel and you do that. Some of them are hilarious fun. There's a feast tournament, talking about the feast and tournaments. I don't know how you're going to practice, but go, I guess. Cosplay contest, which is usually amazing. I've seen a couple of cosplayers in Europe who are gearing up for it, some of the bigger ones. And then, you know, there's going to be signings and things like that. So it starts on Wednesday, August 23rd. So this Wednesday? Yes.
Yes.
So the first thing that is going to be streamed for us and translated into English is at 6 a.m. Pacific time. Sorry, 3 a.m. Eastern.
It's in
Sorry about
Germany.
that.
I don't know what you guys are expecting.
Yeah, you know. This is talking about PvP. It's called Howling with the Wolves.
Oh.
And yeah, I was waiting for someone to do it because I'm not going to.
Ow! Ow! Wusses.
Yes. They're going to have a streamer called Nixda, and he's going to do a special interview with Yoshi P about the feast, and hopefully maybe he'll ask about that whole, 4-man pre-made.
Jam a jam.
I'm gonna find
Yeah.
him online. And I'm gonna just tweet.
If
at him
only,
constantly.
right?
Maybe he might.
In a perfect world, he walks out, he sits down, and he'll be like, "So when is chat coming back?"
Yeah.
And Yoshi P will get right up and leave.
Right? Yeah. He'll just sit up, cross his legs, be like, "So."
As long as
it
they
won't
don't
happen.
ask about, can I get this glamored on this? Oh, for the love. Anyway.
Oh, yeah, that question. So that's the first thing on Wednesday that will be streamed. There's a couple other things. You can go to Lodestone to see the full.
Yeah, there's a couple streams in German as well.
Yes.
We don't have those on the outline because, as far as
Unless you speak
I'm sure there
German.
might be a few people in you that listen to us, but we're an English
Right.
podcast and site. But
I
yeah,
know.
that whole list
I
is on
studied
Lodestone.
French, and it's like, okay. Bonjour, let me know.
So on Thursday, they have a really interesting one at 4 a.m. Pacific, once again, called Preserving a Legacy with Yoshi P. And this is in English. It's going to be on Twitch, on their official Twitch stage, Gamescom, which is kind of a big deal.
Mhm.
I mean, Gamescom is all games. I mean, you're going to have other MMOs there. You're going to have big releases in the fall, and they have time on this Twitch stage. That's kind of a big deal. They're going to talk about incorporating classic Final Fantasy elements into Final Fantasy 14. So maybe we'll hear some more about the thought process with Omega, maybe some hinting, because Yoshi P loves to say things he's not supposed to say, about maybe what else Omega is going to have, potentially.
Tell us things.
And
Yes,
I realized too, we didn't put the 14-hour broadcast on here.
Oh,
Whoops.
which is September?
That's actually coming up
That's
at the
the
end of
27th,
this.
right?
That's coming up at the end of this month.
Oh, wow. 14, yeah.
And they just actually put out the schedule for that. So real quick,
Sure. Yeah.
Break it down. Break it down.
Friday, September 1st, at what is this? 10:30 p.m. Pacific. That's going to be the live letter. That's the thing everybody wants to watch. That's going to be Return to Ivalice.
Yeah. Matsuno's going to be on it.
Matsuno-san's going to be there.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's just a whole bunch of other stuff. All that other stuff is going to be in Japanese. But I mean, the live letter will be too. But everybody will be covering the live letter, so that's what you want to. That's what you want to tune in for. So just keep an eye out for that. That's going to be a busy weekend because that's the same weekend as PAX.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. But yeah, just wanted to mention that real quick. So maybe we'll get a little hint of what to expect from Ivalice at Gamescom. Or PvP, or because we should be getting a bunch of new stuff in 4.1, so we'll see.
Honestly, I feel like 4.1 is going to be huge,
pretty beefy. Yeah,
Yoshida will just come out on the stage and he'll be like, "Dragoon only needs 2 eyes now." Drops mic, walks off.
Is 4.1 Eureka as well?
No.
Okay, so
it's some point.
I haven't heard it confirmed. I'm definitely in the assumption that it is around that period because we should. They did say that it's going to be tied into like the relic. We don't know what phase.
Correct, but it doesn't necessarily.
It doesn't guarantee that it's
with
coming out. The problem that they run into is that if it's not out by 4.3, you can kind of almost consider that it's just going to be toss away content, and that would be very sad. Now,
maybe that's
I still think that we'll see.
Yeah,
it.
we asked Yoshida this at
sense,
E3, and he says that they're saying on or beyond 4.15.
Yeah,
okay,
that's
sense.
where I was saying. I kind of say yes because it's like I think of anything that happens within the series of it, and it would make sense that if they launched it with the relic, because that would be exciting and interesting, and that also then beefs up the mid-tier patch. Because I already feel like the 4.1 with, and I hit my desk, sorry about that. 4.1 is sounding beefy already just with the new PvP type of content. I'm like, wow, like there's you got dungeon, you got super savage. I mean, it could be almost. It feels like it's gonna be one of those patches that might feel a little overwhelming. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
For the last thing about Gamescom is on that Thursday, 5:30 a.m. Gregor Cartesios from Beans TV is going to be interviewing Yoshi P and the main scenario writer Ishikawa, talking about what it takes to craft a memorable story. And I think that it's going to be more interesting after going through the story of Stormblood because. Man, was it so good. It was just great at just about all times,
Yeah.
So I'd like to hear kind of the background, what they thought about it, what they didn't put in. Maybe they'll talk a little bit about that, or, how they figured out that you were going to go on a, girl road trip, because it basically was at that point. Yeah, which is great. But but that'll be at 5:30 a.m. on the Thursday. And then, there's some more you can look at the Lodestone for. And we'll be sure to hit any interviews that come out in English that we can. So,
Yep. There's sure to be some stuff that comes out of that, so we'll make sure to try and, and highlight some of that stuff. So if a lot of times we'll retweet stuff. Twitter's our go-to for like quick things. Yeah. So if you're on Twitter, make sure to follow us on Twitter. Gamer Escape. We usually retweet on Aetheryte Radio too. So keep an eye out on those. And anything that comes out of there will pass along.
So Fusion, you mentioned PAX West.
So many things coming up.
I know.
So excited! It's gonna be great.
So many things.
You're gonna be there, right?
I am. It's less than an hour west of me. So yes, I will be there. There is going to be. It's nice now living so close. Yeah. Before I'd have to get on a plane, and then I had to. It was such a bother to come all the way out to PAX.
Yeah, who wants to do that?
It's nice now though. But we have a Tales of Localization and Lore panel with it will be streamed at 1 p.m. Pacific. If you are going to be at PAX, it'll be at the Hydra Theater. This is on Saturday, September 2nd. So it'll be streamed. So if you're not there, you can watch it online. It'll be great. Those that do go will get a cool double-sided Stormblood poster. Mm-hmm. So if you're going, awesome. If not, sorry. It's just the way it is.
Yeah. If you're somehow going to PAX and don't like 14, could you give it to me? Thank you.
Yeah. If you just want to wait in the line for like 3 hours to go to the panel and just send Charles your poster, that'd be great. That'd be great.
I'll take it.
Yeah, that is nice.
You
random volunteer. Fantastic.
There's also a forum thread up on the official forums for people to submit questions for that. Also at PAX, they will have the Susano Battle Challenge because
the seas part ways.
Because I don't know why. I was hoping for look, I get that not everybody goes to all the E3s and all the PAXs and stuff, but we had Susano at E3. I want the Lakshmi shirt. Gamescom gets Lakshmi.
Get both, yeah, they get both.
What the heck? Gamescom always gets two, and it's always one that we end up never getting, and it drives me nuts. Anyway, also because Koji is going to be there, we're going to be there. We're going to talk to Koji. We're going to try and get an interview. Either it'll be a write-up or we'll try for a Lorecast. So please look forward to it.
Mm-hmm. That's going to be exciting. Those interviews that you guys get to do with Koji are some of the most entertaining. Audio, like if y'all are able to capture the audio and put that up. Sometimes you can't, but those are some of the most entertaining because that guy, not only does he know so much, but there's like he knows what he can and cannot tease.
Into it.
So I don't know how he always has so much energy. I don't understand how that's possible. I think
that's a question.
There was some kind of experiment done when he was younger, or I don't know. It's just I don't know how he does it.
And then so finally, then in September, wrapping up September, we've got the Tokyo Game Show. That's going to be September 21st to the 24th. So there's going to be a new Final Fantasy 14 minion charms available at TGS. They say Kate Sith, Cactar, Fett, Chocobo, Paisa.
What was that word?
I speak it to Brian. Oh my gosh. Paisa. Moogle, Bomb, Spriggan, Tonberry. So those are some of the options you can get. Gamerscape's JP team will actually be at the event, so we'll be able to see some very awesome coverage of that at the end of September.
Yep.
So no obviously confirmed date for 4.1, but I'm assuming that's going to be sometime in September or in October. So that could kind of hopefully we'll be able to talk more about that at that time. So it's going to be great. Obviously, if you guys are new and have never really kind of seen TGS, there's a lot of really cool stuff. I'm always excited to see what they announce. And we'll hopefully learn about some more awesome stuff coming to the North American market soon.
Chances are we'll probably be seeing 4.1 stuff. There will probably be a live letter. It probably won't be translated live anyway. Right. We'll have to get it from Marco or something. So keep an eye out for that. We will have people on the ground. So if there is anything big, we will certainly try to get on that for you guys.
And Gahu's saying that Square Enix is actually going to be at New York Comic-Con in October, but there's no word whether they're going to do the 14 stuff. So
it's rare that they plug that stuff at Comic-Con. I think usually Comic-Con is
movies.
Yeah.
As a whole, yes, but I think for Square Enix, they'll show a handful of stuff, but then they have like their merchandise, the play arts for DC and Marvel and all that stuff. That same week, I think, is also the Brave Exvius Fan Festa.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So that's something to look into as well.
I bet we're also going to probably see something, and this is not related to 14, but with 15 and their multiplayer stuff. They did the beta, this last August, and so that probably is going to start setting them up if they're going to promote a game, and with the DLC and with 15 coming out. Like I think that we could probably see something like that.
Yeah. I've never been to Comic-Con, so I don't know exactly what they've been showing in years past. But
I've never been to New York. Maybe I'll be able to make it up one day. I've seen New York. I've been adjacent.
I've seen movies. I've seen various TV shows that have been filmed in a city named New York.
And finally, at the 14 event, they're going to be doing an orchestra concert during the show for 14. And it looks like new Final Fantasy 14 music boxes will actually be available at the event. So I'm betting that maybe the JP team is going to be sending some stuff to Fusion. This concert, they announced it a while back. There's going to be a few different showings, but right now it's only in Japan. They announced it on the NA Lodestone, which is kind of like, you're rubbing it in our faces, guys. Like, what are you doing? So hopefully, right, like this goes well and the reaction and stuff is really good. And they bring this to Europe and America and stuff like that. This is going on the same week as TGS. We will also have people at the concert. So we will try and get some reactions.
They'll tell you how awesome it was and how it sucks that you missed it.
Right. Oh. Such a shame that not everybody could come to Japan for this one concert. And then the music. I'm so excited for these music boxes. Man, you guys have no idea. I have, as part of my collection, a Final Fantasy 11 music box.
Wow,
that was a pre-order item in Japan only. If you pre-ordered the Windows version of 11 at launch.
Wow, that's awesome.
And these two 14 music boxes look almost identical.
In condition, in box.
It's not. It's a little roughed up. I think my wife actually found it at like a used, like a resale kind of shop or something, and she just happened to find it.
That's awesome.
And I got it sent by Uematsu too, so it's like it's one of the coolest things I have. Humble brag. These two music boxes, they play. There's two of them. One plays "Torn from the Heavens" and the other one plays "Night in the Broom." We don't know how much they're going to be, if they're going to be available anywhere else. Hopefully, if this concert does come to North America or Europe or anywhere outside Japan, hopefully they make these music boxes available there as well.
That'd be really cool. That'd be really cool. They've been doing a lot better job at touring and being, I guess, more international with both the merchandise and with their events, because
they've been getting better.
It's been getting like, I mean, they did the the escape room, right? So they was started in Japan, and then they did bring it to several different cities, throughout North America and things like that. I mean, it's like we can. I'm not. That's not the best example, but it's the fact that like. Okay, if this was the 11 days, they're doing this in Japan. Never.
No, it was just the escape room wasn't that great.
Well, I'm just saying that
it was my.
That's what I figured it was for. I'm just saying that I feel like they've been doing a way better job. Like if you compare, on the last 5 years, just the various content.
Yeah, they've gotten better. I think they still have a long way to go, especially when it comes to merchandising. Japan is still getting so many more things than we are.
We want
that's more.
I want an NA XL Dragoon shirt and hoodie.
Yeah,
that's all I want.
If you want, I can make you one.
I have the Japanese XL shirt.
I'm just saying,
and I probably shouldn't wear it.
Teespring.
Japanese sizes are a little snug.
We can get the art and we can make it ourselves. It's like, all right,
you gotta make sure you gotta like bedazzle it and get it has glitter. It's glittery. So it's an extra step
for you.
That's how you know if it's authentic, if it has that glitter.
You don't want glitter.
I don't, but I want that Dragoon shirt, so I'll tolerate the glitter.
Yeah. Side note, that was the most annoying thing about middle school was like girls getting the glitter around that time, and it was like, gosh, glitter. Anyway,
what do we call that, Charles?
Craft herpes.
Because it doesn't go away.
My brother used that too.
All right, that pretty much wraps up our episode of Aetheryte Radio 104. Thanks for everybody joining us. Now, if you guys are joining us live on Twitch right now, feel free to hang around in chat. We're going to be taking live questions for a extra little segment we do after the show for just a Q&A with us and just kind of having that second half of this, which is more of the conversation. So, we're going to go and wrap up the show. So I believe there's an outro.
There's a button.
I hope
it says outro. And if you click on that, actually it's outro is a contact.
Okay,
it's one of those.
I think I have a missing file.
Oh no!
No, I do. It's right. It works.
Oh my gosh!
Cool. All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining
Watching the
us
video.
on the on Twitch, on live, and be sure to check us out on YouTube and other streaming platforms. So I'd like to take this opportunity right now. Charles, Michelle, Andrew, do you guys have anything you want to plug about what you guys going on personally as we wrap up the show, and then we